Hi everyone, my name is Eva. I'm a holistic health consultant and I wanted to share with you a verse that I found in the Bible. I will be sharing more information from this illustrated Bible that I purchased recently, and then I'll share with you 3 spices that I think might be helpful to you. This is the 3rd time that I tried taping this, so hopefully this will be one shot. So the first verse is from the book of Mark, and it is chapter 4, the calming of a storm at the sea. On that day, as evening drew on, and he said to them, "Let us cross to the other side." Leaving the crowd, they took him with them in the boat, just as he was, and other boats were with him. A violent squall came up and waves were breaking over the boat, so that it was already filling up. Jesus was in the stern, asleep on a cushion. They woke him and said to him, "Teacher, do you not care that we are perishing?" He woke up, rebuked the wind, and said to the sea, "Quiet, be still." The wind ceased and there was great calm. Then he asked them, "Why are you terrified? Do you not yet have faith?" They were filled with great awe and said to one another, "Who then is this whom even wind and sea obey?" Just gonna quickly check to see that, make sure that this is still running. And thankfully it is. Okay, so moving on and reading it in Spanish for you, because I really love the sound of it. And I think it's such a treat to hear it in Spanish. This is Marcos 4:35. Al atardecer de aquel mismo día, Jesús dijo a sus discípulos, "Crucemos a la otra orilla del lago." Despidieron a la gente y lo llevaron en la barca en que estaba. También lo acompañaban otras barcas. De pronto se levantó un gran temporal y las olas se estrellaban contra la barca, que se iba llenando de agua. Mientras tanto, Jesús dormía en la popa sobre un cojín. Lo despertaron diciendo, "Maestro, ¿no te importa que nos hundamos?" Él entonces se despertó, se encaró con el viento y dijo al mar, "Cállate, cálmate." El viento se apaciguó y siguió una gran calma. Después les dijo, ¿Por qué son tan miedosos? ¿Todavía no tienen fe? Pero ellos estaban muy asustados por el ocurrido y se preguntaban unos a otros, ¿quién es este que hasta el viento y el mar le obedecen? So now I'll read it to you from this really beautiful illustrated Bible. And I'll show you the imagery right after I read the story to you. So It's been 90 degrees here in Boston, and this is the first time the wind kicks up. It's about 9:30 at night. So it's called Jesus Calms the Storm. In the Old Testament, wind and waves often seem to represent chaotic forces beyond human control. When Jesus shows he has the power to save the disciples' storm-tossed ship, it leaves them fearful of him. Mark's story of the calming of the storm began with Jesus suggesting a trip across the Sea of Galilee. That day, when evening came, he said to his disciples, "Let us go over to the other side." For Mark, it was significant that Jesus had instigated this journey. It was not a whim of the disciples or a random happening. Jesus said, let us go. Before long, however, there was trouble. A fierce storm arose. Waves were breaking over the side of the boat, and it was filling with water. Then Mark described one of the key images of the story. In the midst of the wind and the waves forces outside the disciples' control, Jesus was sound asleep. Mark highlighted this moment with a detail none of the Gospels mentioned. Jesus was sleeping on a cushion. The pillow seems to emphasize the fact that Jesus was calmly at rest in the face of chaos and danger, waking up the Lord. The disciples were frightened and unsure what to do, at a loss and unsure what to do. They woke Jesus up and said to him, "Teacher, don't you care if we drown?" Jewish believers hearing this story might have recalled the Psalm's cry, "Awake, Lord, why do you sleep? Rise yourself. Do not reject us forever." Jesus then performed one of his most dramatic displays of authority. He got up from his pillow and delivered a short rebuke to the wind and waves. "Quiet, be still." At this command, the storm died down until the sea was once more completely calm. Jesus then said to the disciples, "Why are you so afraid? Do you still have no faith?" I'm going to read it again. Do you still not have no faith? Jesus' command to the sea, "Be still," recalls another group of storm-tossed sailors described in Psalms. He stilled the storm to a whisper. The waves of the sea were hushed. They were glad when it grew calm. The disciples on Galilee during the storm were afraid of the sea, just as those whose tale was related in Psalms. But in this case, there was also a second form of fear, an awe-filled fear in the face of Jesus' own authority, which demonstrated power on the scale beyond their imagining. Mark's final description of the scene suggests this. They were terrified and asked each other, "Who is this? Even the wind and the waves obey him." So I'll show you an imagery of what it shows here in the book. Hopefully this doesn't fall over. Okay. So this is the imagery on here, and this is Jesus sleeping, and this is the imagery or painting that it shows. It only says calming the storm. Matthew described the dramatic moment when the storm broke. So it doesn't say who painted this, but I thought it was beautiful. So that's the imagery. And I thought it was really funny that through chaos all around him, what Jesus was doing was sleeping through chaos, and he was unbothered by his surroundings, and the power that he had that came through him from God was really beautiful. And it's really nice to hold that faith in the scripture that's shared in the Bible. And I wanted to share the painting, which was really nice. I think the Bible is really difficult sometimes for people to connect with because it's so thick and it's so overwhelming for the average person. And this illustrated Bible helps with connecting with the information and the message that's being shared. And then the 3 spices that I felt might be useful for you, since people are traveling this summer. I felt that this was an appropriate spice to share with you. It's honeysuckle. The honeysuckle flower remedy is prepared from the flower of the Italian honeysuckle. And its properties are integrates past experiences, gives strength to face new challenges. What else does it say here? And this honeysuckle can actually be prepared in boiling water for 30 minutes and then drinking it like a tea. And this is what it looks like right there. And then the other spice that I wanted to share is flaxseed. I think that people should learn to have more flaxseed. I think that's important. And there it is. If you don't know what it looks like. Flaxseed is a group of annual and perennial plants. Let's see, it says the properties are tonic for the kidneys, encourages healing, and it says here, apply the oil, so you can use it as an oil. Apply the oil to sprains to reduce inflammation and ease the pain. The tea can be drunk during bouts of bronchitis to reduce inflammation of lungs and prevent spasms. I know that flaxseed can be used for your digestive system, is actually very, very good. So that's the second spice. And then the third is lavender. Of several varieties of lavender used medicinally, its properties are soothing, antiseptic, and you can apply it to cuts, wounds, burns, bruises, spots, insect bites, alleviates headaches, insomnia. So that's what that is good for. So I hope you like the story. I like choosing stories from the Bible that will mean something to you and will help you and will give you faith. And I felt this was a really cute story that God has shared with us to keep the faith and to have a tiny bit of humor in all this chaos. And thirdly, I wanted to see if you could share in the comments below favorite movie that makes you feel happy. For me, it's A Wonderful Life during Christmas. That's one of my favorite movies to watch. And if I come up with another favorite movie, I will share it with you in the description box below. But that's all I had for you. And I thank you for watching, and have a great day.